Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. In this video, we're going to briefly discuss tax invoicing in Thailand. So this video is more pertaining to corporate services for those clients of ours who are interested, as well as anybody who's interested in how tax invoicing works, the formalities thereof, and things associated with sort of corporate services, general corporate services, ongoing and administration as far as Thai companies here, or Thai businesses here in Bangkok or in Greater Thailand. Basically what we're talking about here with tax invoicing is I'm specifically talking about the formalities of tax invoicing under Thai law, because if tax invoicing is done properly with respect to meeting the formalities of what basically a tax invoice is supposed to look like, an actual paper tax invoice from one company to another, or from one company to an individual, sole proprietorship, a partnership, whatever. These tax invoices are very important from the standpoint of VAT. There are other videos on this channel that discuss VAT directly, and most pertinently to this video, VAT credits. There is a certain way in Thailand to go ahead and mitigate one's VAT liability by getting credits from those with whom one does business in the general course of business. So for example, if one business goes ahead and buys a certain amount of rice, they are going to buy that rice. That rice may or may not have VAT. Let's not use rice. Let's use another example. Let's say one business goes ahead and buys transistors from another company, and they use that transistor, they put that transistor in another more complex device that they then sell on either to the general public or to someone further down the production stream. Okay, they are going to pay VAT on the purchase of that transistor, and someone else is going to go, presumably someone else is going to go ahead and pay the VAT to buy their product that they're making. Okay, well, when they purchase this transistor over here, they're going to want to go ahead and get VAT credit, which will mitigate the later VAT liability that's created in this later transaction. They're going to want to go ahead and get VAT credit for this to mitigate the VAT liability owed for this. Okay, so one important component and an integral part of getting one's VAT mitigated is formalities of tax invoicing. The Revenue Department here in Thailand wants to go ahead and see one's tax invoices in order to go ahead and essentially, it's not exactly approve VAT credits, but if later an audit occurs or something like this, and they go back in and they comb through a company's tax documentation, you're going to want to be able to show formally proper tax invoices for purposes of not only recordation of VAT mitigation, but also, to make sure that such recordation survives an audit. So for this purpose, for this reason, formalities regarding tax invoicing are extremely important, as it's not my belief exactly that the Revenue Department is sort of looking to push out that VAT mitigation per se, but if it's very clear that, or to set aside that VAT mitigation or effectively cancel that VAT mitigation, that's not what I think they're necessarily doing. What I think is, in a way, this topic or this issue is very much, the matters pertaining to tax invoicing rely on a formalistic approach when adjudicating whether or not such tax invoice was issued correctly. And for that reason, getting it right the first time is extremely important. So having proper corporate service providers that can provide formally correct tax invoicing can be extremely important. It may not be readily apparent how important it is, but down the line, it can prove extremely important, especially in light of an audit. Now, to be clear, even immediately, it could prove to be extremely important, because oftentimes customers of a given business, in a way, VAT is it's somewhat of a brilliant tax scheme insofar as the counterparty of VAT is the one that's essentially the on-the-ground enforcer rather than the government itself. Because the counterparty in one's business is going to be benefiting from the tax mitigation, they're the ones that are going to be insisting from the business themselves to issue them a correct tax invoice. And for this reason, having a corporate services provider who has the experience and has the know-how and knowledge to go ahead and issue such formally correct documentation is going to be really essential to a smoothly running operation. So for this reason, it's a good idea to contact professionals who deal with tax in Thailand, deal with corporate services in Thailand, as these issues really can become totally back office where an individual doing business here or an entity doing business here just has no idea they're even going on because it's such a smooth procedure. But that being said, understand that formalistically, tax invoicing in Thailand is very important from this standpoint, and maintaining formally correct documentation can be the difference between seriously mitigating one's VAT liability and not doing so.